If a good daily skincare routine is important to you, then check out the clinically superior exfoliation of the active glycolic serum from my friends at averygraham.com. And for free shipping, use the code JOSHVIP. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It's the 30th of March. 2 more days left in this crazy month. 2 more days left until April 1st. I beat Doom Eternal. That game was a shit ton of fun. It was my first playthrough. I went back and unlocked all of the collection items, the combat, achievements, etc., etc. The only thing I have left is one challenge to do on one of the levels. And then I will have done everything I can outside of beating the game on the hardest difficulty, which I think I will do. I'm not rushing into it just to kind of relax and work on other things. But it's an awesome journey. The weapons are great. I really enjoyed Skill Up's Full Up review when it came to how the weapons changed from the audio design from Doom 2016 to Doom Eternal. The killing of the demons as they shed different body parts when you blow them away was a notable impact in terms of changes and real good design. You know, sometimes these designers focus too much on the graphics and not enough on the substance, but the substance definitely was there. Solving the platform puzzles, not too tough. You know, broke up the action a little bit. So I'll definitely revisit the game on the hardest mode, but it's also nice to take a break. Huge shout out to the entire team that made that game. Well done. Story could have been a little bit better, but Doom's not known for the story. It's known for the gameplay, which I'm totally fine with that. Haven't picked up any other games yet. Sorry, Animal Crossing. I don't know if it's going to happen this week either. I just don't have enough time in the day. You're like, what? How's that possible? You're at home. Well, I'm doing what I can to produce. I have meetings. I have a voiceover gig booked next week. Doing what I can. But also enjoying time with my cat and spreading out the day, if you will. On my radar, though, next, that I've already purchased. I haven't bought Animal Crossing yet, too. So that's another reason why I'm like, ugh. Can I afford it? $60 is a lot of food. Anyways, games that I've already purchased that were on sale before all this crazy stuff happened. Resident Evil 2, the remake. Final Fantasy VII remake is around the corner. And then Resident Evil 3 remake's around the corner, too. But Resident Evil 2, I'm thinking about streaming this week. I've hooked up my Xbox to my streaming system since the game plays better. Most single-player games play better on the Xbox, unless they've been built particularly for PlayStation. But Digital Foundry puts out these videos that benchmarks the state of the gameplay through each of the different platforms. And 9 times out of 10, Xbox is going to run better if you have to pick between the two consoles, just because of the graphics, the hardware, blah, 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 blah. You know, what should matter the most is being able to play with your friends online. We have crossplay now for a lot of these games. So that's okay. Totally fine playing a Resident Evil single-player game on an Xbox. But I have that probably on the way. Check out that Doom review I made. Just under 8 minutes, showcasing some of my favorite moments in the game so far. I didn't go really into depth as much as somebody like Skill Up, who I do look up to in the review space, because I would rather create something shorter and finish the game on the hardest difficulty, which is kind of like the way it's meant to be played, to give it the full-on, okay, this is the full experience. But that's not going to happen for a long time. At least the amount of time devoted to unlocking that for me. And with updates with patches and maybe more DLC comes out, you know, the lifeblood of Doom will go on at least for the quarter. So we can definitely go back and revisit it. But check out that review. Had a lot of fun with it. I also appeared on another show earlier this week. Well, actually last week. The Vinny Brusco show. I've known Vinny Brusco, wow, we're talking like close to a decade. He did a show over at MLG TV when they were branching out and doing some other type of programming in between the major tournaments. And that's how I got exposed to Steven Sadak, who is a member of the We Hate Movies podcast, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. But Vinny and I had a wonderful conversation. I mean, we probably talked about games a total of 10 minutes throughout the entire almost 2-hour conversation. About an hour and a half. But I'll put the link in the description below. You can check out that full podcast. Vinny Brusco is a great host. Great. He's got a great voice. He articulates very well, and he's got that New York accent. So check him out. Give him a follow. And as I mentioned earlier, that DJ Wheat Fields of Wheat show, he's doing those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can call in. They start at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. And he's had doctors from Brazil call in, different international fans of Twitch. But I was able to call in this morning and talk about leadership and how leadership is truly tested when things go wrong. Not when just things go right all the time. Same for a professional. Professional actor, producer, lighting tech. It takes a team to put on a show, and you have a true professional when they're able to pivot and come up with solutions under pressure really quickly. Now, unfortunately, leadership today should see the consequences of the choices being made further down the line. And this is one of the things that was impacted in me when I played SimCity. You all remember SimCity 2000? You remember that on the Nintendo 64? Trying to play that game on console was super tough, just like StarCraft. But if you got a PC, play it on PC. But SimCity, when you would build a city, have your different districts, residential, commercial, and industrial. Got to keep your industrial away from the residential so you don't got people breathing in smog all the time. You would get a notice from one of the health officials, either be the head of the hospital or whoever is programming the game, saying, hey, we need to allocate this emergency fund in case something happens. You would have different individuals, public safety, weather. They would tell you, hey, we need to prepare for this potential event. And if you didn't prepare, it could be like hours later into the game, which would be, years for the city itself. But if you didn't prepare properly and that scourge came, be it a virus or a tornado, you're done. Game over. So it seems a lot of our leaders today really could have used some lessons from SimCity way before this even started. And now we're dealing with the consequences of just bad info and bad leadership. But we are seeing some good leaders rise to the occasion. And that's always a good thing. So as you continue to bunker down and listen to what's going on in the world, I would always keep an open channel to what the international community, especially China and Italy, have been saying, are saying, and act accordingly. And also listen to your local leaders. All right, in the world of news when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11, a gentleman from Saudi Arabia, Prince Panther, appeared out of nowhere on Twitter. And he said he was going to drop a $25,000 tournament for the top players. And rightfully so, all of us were cautious, like, who is this person? But then he started to drop a bunch of gifted subs in some of the pillars of the community, Mitsu Owens being one of them. I think he also dropped some on Mr. Aquaman's channel, or for Mr. Aquaman's channel. And now Mitsu Owens is hosting the first $1,000 tournament that is being sponsored by Prince Panther. Well, I welcome anybody that wants to be a part of this scene. I still don't know if Prince Panther is legit. He put up a video of himself, and he plays very well on Mortal Kombat 11 online. But only time will tell. But I will tell you this, Prince Panther, and to anybody else who's listening, dropping an all-caps tweet is not the right way to make a good impression. Media this week. I'm watching Tiger King again. That shit is crazy. That is one of the best character studies of power and ego. And every single one of these people that are so crazy, what they have in common is just the sheer power they feel being around these exotic cats. Everyone in that show will tell you about that power they can feel. Even Kirkman, who is a reality TV producer. He went out there coming from Hard Copy and other TV shows where he would develop the story and turn it in. Here was something that he thought was going to be his retirement. Just how great a reality show it would have been to follow the Tiger King. But I won't spoil the first half of the story. You definitely need to watch it for yourselves. But wow. Joe Exotic. I mean, that man has got 3 or 4 monologues I just need to memorize today and bring him into any type of audition. His entire campaign speech on that commercial, which we first saw on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which they do touch on in the show, it's great. Great. But I feel for Joe Exotic. I'm not saying he's innocent, but neither is anybody else in that entire group. Even Carol. Where's Dawn, Carol? That bitch killed her husband. And every time I see her now husband on camera, I'm just like, run, man, run for your life. Get the fuck out of there, dude. Crazy. Shit, I probably spoiled part of it. Hey, if you haven't watched it by now, you need to. But that's just a piece of the story. So much happens in that show that it's worth watching it again. It's going so much faster watching it again the second time, too. But each of the episodes are, 45 minutes? So, yeah, watch Tiger King if you haven't. Watch it again if you have. Spawn on HBO. I know I said last week I'd watch it. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list. And everybody's telling me to watch Ozark. What is Ozark? All right. I've seen the trailer for the first season. I like the actors in it. But I don't know if I just want to watch a procedural show from the viewpoint of a family, and it's like Breaking Bad all over again, where I respect Breaking Bad. I don't like Breaking Bad. I respect it as a show. It deserves the accolades, but it's not for me. I don't like watching the main characters make mistakes, and the plot is structured by the mistakes that they make. And it just seemed to be too much. That was my first impression. My thoughts may change if I ever get back to that show and watch it a second time. And I binged it, except the final season I watched it live with everybody else. Yeah, I just was not motivated to stay enthralled in a story where I just kept shaking my head at the main characters thinking, what are you doing? This is like antithetical to everything you've been working for up until this moment. Then you realize at the end why he would make those decisions, and they only told you in the last couple episodes that gray matter company that he bailed out on to become a teacher and how much money it has. It's like, maybe I wasn't mature enough in my understanding of what it means to be a middle-aged man, but I really didn't feel that connection until the final season. I was like, oh, now I get the motivation, but why did it take so long to get there? And again, I'm saying this with the caveat knowing that there's probably depth in that show that I haven't reached yet. But just because, it's good doesn't mean you have to like it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But again, I respect it. It's just I'm not going to buy the box set. Are there any rentals interesting you today that have been changed from the theatrical run, be it Invisible? I'll have to echo what Grace Randolph said on her YouTube channel beyond the trailer. Yeah, I think it was a mistake for Universal to have a $20 price point just for a rental. Should have bought it. Should have been able to buy Invisible Man. Well, but I think Universal, like every movie studio, had no idea how long this thing is going to take. And we're going to start to see more and more of these announcements, I believe, for each of these different films that are supposed to come out over the summer. Next up is Mulan and Black Widow. Imagine both of those go straight to streaming. Which I don't think... So we need to define what I mean by streaming. We need to say digital sale first, then digital rental, then streaming, I think is how the vernacular is going. Because streaming is, you watch it on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu. You already subscribe to the service. Compared to the digital purchase, you sign in to iTunes or Prime, and you purchase your video and you go from there. It just seems that we use the word streaming for any type of technology that's not physical. But now Hollywood, or how we're trying to define what's going on as digital sale, digital rental, then streaming. We're figuring it out, all right? We're figuring this all out. Podcast this week, Useful Idiots. Watch that episode on YouTube if you can. If you want to listen to it, go for it. I'm sure they're on all of the podcast locations, which, speaking of which, I put all of my podcast episodes on YouTube first because there's video with it, but I got to put them up on Spotify and Apple and Stitcher, and then start cutting up the clips and put the clips up on YouTube. See, plenty to do. I still have a lot of work to do. It's stuff that I've been meaning to do for the last freaking year, and now I have the time to do it. I've been going through every single one of my old files, every one in my archive, and just deleting stuff I don't need, organizing pictures, organizing documents, some of them going all the way back to college. Some of them, one of them is for a birthday party where I turned 24. That's going to be 10 years ago in 2 days. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, it's been 10 years since that party, and I remember it like yesterday. We went bowling. My work friends came out. Other friends came out. Nuts. I don't know, it's not even fair how time moves sometimes. You know, when you're young, you're like, F you old people. Time's going by so slow. I want to get older. I want to be 21 so I can do this or do that, or 25. They start to get older and you're like, it's going by too fast. Too fast. So make sure to check out that Useful Idiots podcast. They have an awesome interview with Adam McKay. Adam McKay has produced or directed some of your favorite films. I know they're some of your favorite films because they are classics. Anchorman, classic. His latest film, Vice, he directed that. He directed The Big Short. Very well articulate. I agree with his viewpoint. So I definitely recommend you check out his interview. All right, that's going to be it. Shout-outs. Too Easy is doing a tournament. I'm putting the info down below in the description. Too Easy MK on Twitter. He is the king of the Emerald City at the moment. He won Battle for Seattle. He's the reigning champion, so he will be the one to beat whenever we do Volume 2. $1,000 tournament. Takes place April 4th. Sign-ups are on Smash GG, as I said. Link's going to be down below. Coliseum, shout out to Aquaman. He and Darth Arma did an event Sunday. Caught bits and pieces. Good for them. Keeping it alive. Keeping that Mortal Kombat tournament alive. And shout out to me. 34 in 2 days. I hit my mid-30s in 2 days. It's early. Now it's mid-30s. Round it up. I feel good, especially looking back at this body of work over the last 10 years. What I did before that, before the years and before 2010. And understanding that time is of the essence. And the effort that I make for any type of story or production or job or business or voiceover gig, etc., it's only going to be as good as the effort that I put into it. So I got to put in that effort. And sometimes it's tough when you're on week 4 of the only human you've talked to is your cat. But you start to really hone in on what's important. And when all of this does get unleashed, what you want to do with your time. And I hope that has been manifest in other people as well. Call your parents. Call your grandparents. And call some old friends. It's not like you're going anywhere. Good luck to everybody as we go into another week of quarantine. Hopefully, we'll start to see this cruise down and settle by July. And then I think things will be, quote-unquote, back to normal by September. But we have no idea. We have no idea day by day. But keep fighting. Keep going. We got this. Stay home. All right, that does it for me for this Monday. You can check out all of my content, Mr. Joshua Gray, on all the platforms. Thanks again. Take care. I'll see you online.